This is the heartbeat of human services, a peek into the inspiring stories of our community and all things DHS. Join us.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jana Slagle, and I'm the host of our podcast, The Heartbeat of Human Services. And I'm so happy today to have our guest, Jeff Oxford, who is an assistant program director here at DHS. And he works in, Jeff, will you tell us a little bit more about your job?
Definitely. So as you mentioned, my name is Jeff Oxford. I'm assistant program director in employment services. And I have the wonderful opportunity here to manage our new housing support unit that we just recently established.
Wow, that is so cool. We were just talking in our outreach team the other day about, man, is there a way to kind of put all of the homeless information together? And then you guys did it. So we are excited to hear more about it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we're right there with you. We saw the need.
You see the need, right?
We knew we needed it. And of course, if we saw that if ourselves and our staff saw that need, I mean, we only know our families need it too,
yes, right? Absolutely. Because we in outreach, we answer this, one of the advertising lines, and we always have questions about, homeless assistance and how can we help people. So it's great that our department is consolidating that and making it easy for people to access what we have, right?
Oh, for sure. Yes, definitely.
So tell us, Jeff, it's called the Housing Support Unit. And what is your overall goal for this unit?
So our overall goal is very simple. We want to centralize and streamline all the various housing programs that are available through the department for our families and individuals that we serve. Almost, if you want to, almost like a one-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
If you want to say, right?
So people can call in, right? And then we kind of direct them to the resources that
exactly,
we have, right?
Yeah. And it's not limited to just calling. You can call in, you can walk in.
Okay.
Thanks to our public website, we've set it up where you can actually submit a web inquiry. So, if you're online, you can contact us and we can try to help you out.
So I'm just going to say the numbers that I see here. So it's 661-631-6688. And there's an extension, 16688. So they call that number, and then does someone answer it, or is it a recording? Or
no, you're going to talk to a human being. Yeah, you're going to talk to somebody,
okay.
Right? We have our OST, Maria Hernandez Garcia. She does a wonderful job at being that front line for us. She answers the phone calls, she answers the emails. Makes contact with the folks who are reaching out to us. So they're actually talking to a human being, not a recording, right?
I love that.
So we're able to get that human to human aspect of it, like find out what's really going on in their lives. And then Maria does a fantastic job of doing that initial screening to see, okay, what exactly are the issues? What are the challenges? So then we can see, okay, what resources do we have that we can help with?
Okay. So oftentimes, does someone, let's say someone calls in and they're not connected with us at all. They don't have any services. So what would be the first person, who would they go to after Maria? Would we see if they qualify for Medi-Cal or CalFresh?
Definitely. Yeah.
All that
So,
kind of stuff?
that's once again, I can't praise her enough. Maria does such an awesome job. So she was formerly an OSA for us. So she's already familiar with our programs. So that's one of the first things she does is she goes in and say, okay, you're currently receiving any services through the department. That could be child welfare services. That could be, like you mentioned, Medi-Cal, CalFresh, CalWorks. And if the individual says no to any of those, she's already kind of asking those questions to say, okay, could you possibly qualify for these? And if they do, she automatically tells them, okay, here's what you got to do to come in and apply.
Good.
Get these resources that you need, because we know the housing is only going to be one component.
Right.
There's still so much more there that they need. So we're also trying to capture that right away from the get-go as well.
So looking at all kinds of services, not just the housing. So that's really
Correct,
good.
yeah.
So what else happens? Tell us what other parts of this, how does it work?
That's where it can kind of go in so many different directions.
Yeah,
and that's the beautiful thing about our new housing support unit. It's completely different than what it was before in the past. So in the past, the housing programs and the assistance that we had here at the department, it was all siloed. It was left to each individual program, right? So the few programs that we have here in-house, the only ones who knew about it were those in that program. And even then, some of the folks in those programs may only knew a little bit about it. And that's where we have this benefit where we can say, no, we can take a look at every single program and we ask the question, can we leverage multiple programs together to help this family out where they're truly at? Quick example here. We know that sometimes there's a disconnect between child welfare and the employment financial services side of the house. They work completely different programs, different systems. Well, we can have, before in the past, if you had a family that was in child welfare and they needed assistance, there's a program there for them specifically. It's called the Bringing Families Home program. So child welfare would make a referral for that program, but that would be it. That's the extent that they can go to. Where we have the advantage now is we can say, okay, yes, you're in child welfare, you're receiving child welfare services. We have the Bringing Families Home that could be there for you as a good resource. But you know what? You're also CalWorks aided. That means you can also take advantage of the CalWorks Housing Support Program. Or you can also take advantage of the Welfare Family Stabilization Program. Let's get you connected to all these.
Awesome.
So, that's where we're really coming in. So that's the
cool.
big difference that we're able to do now as this collected housing support unit is we're taking that big picture view. We're taking that 30,000 view look and saying, okay, what's everything here that we have that we can put into your pocket? Yeah.
And I know not everybody who's listening knows what CalWorks is. So what is CalWorks when you said that?
Yeah, so CalWorks is a program that's designed for our families who are in need here that has a child with some type of deprivation. This could be either the parent is unemployed, it could be an absence of another parent. But we have a family here that's living at the poverty level and they're struggling.
Okay.
So CalWorks provides some financial resources for them through a monthly cash grant, but also allows them the ability to get into CalFresh, Medi-Cal, all those different programs. But the real benefit, and at least in my opinion, of CalWorks is the ability to participate in the Welfare to Work program, where now we're giving resources and tools to these families to help them overcome their situation, get out of poverty, and build the skill set they need to stay out of it.
Okay, so CalWorks is maybe an entry point for people. And then once they're in that, maybe they can get some services to help them get out of poverty, learn skills to get a job. And that was called, what did you say, CalWorks? And then the other one was
Welfare to Work.
Welfare to Work.
Yeah.
And that is helping people to get off certain assistance by getting jobs and developing skills. Is that right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So that's our big goal, to help people become self-sufficient, right?
It is. That's definitely our goal. And we know, as you mentioned, not too many folks and families in our community are aware of the benefits of CalWorks. So that's one of our initial things we do. Every time we talk to a family or individual, the first thing we ask, are you CalWorks aided? If not, okay, what's the composition of your family? What does it look like? Could you possibly be eligible for this? Because we know that those benefits are going to help you out so much more, with your current situation, for sure.
And so if someone were listening and they were like, how do I find out if I qualify for CalWorks? Do you go to the website and does it list, like, here's what you need to have to, I'm sure it's partly your income and how many people are in your household, those kinds of things, right?
Yeah, we always direct them back to the website.
Okay.
I mean, it's such a cool, wonderful tool to have there. I mean, it's all right there for you. So we'll direct them back to the website, tell them where to go.
And is the website Benefits Cal, or which website are you talking about?
We tell them both. We try to advertise both of them. We tell them go to our DHS public page because there's good information there for them as well.
Which is kcdhs.org, and then they just look for CalWorks, right?
Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that's what we tell them. Just go and, just especially if they found us through that, right?
Yeah.
Go right back there. But then we also try to advertise and promote the Benefits Cal too. There's great resource information for you too, right there at your fingertips.
So they can go to either of those places and look to see if they qualify, right? And then if they still don't know, they can call our numbers, right?
Yep. Yeah. And that's always the last thing we leave them with. Is if you have questions, call our 6000 line, come to one of your local offices, ask those questions, because we want to make sure that you at least make that attempt, make that try.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't cut yourself out when you don't know if you are not eligible or not until you put the application in sometimes.
Yeah, but it's nice that you can. Most everybody has a phone, right? Most everybody has a cell phone, and they can go to benefitscal.com or kcdhs.org and search for that. At least it gives them a little information, and then they can call us if they have more questions.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but CalWorks has a homeless assistance program, and that's one of the offerings, right?
Yeah, so with the CalWorks homeless assistance, there's two components to that program. We have what's known as the temporary homeless assistance, which is the 16 nights of a motel stay that they'll cover.
Okay.
So that allows the family to stay together under, at a motel or a hotel.
And now, is that service something a person can only have one time? Or is it like once a year, or is it?
Yeah, there's a time limit to it. Yeah.
Okay.
So right now it's once every 12 months. So rolling calendar year. There are some exceptions to that. And so we try to educate ourselves into that program, into what those exceptions are, so we can see if somebody may qualify, because that could be another situation there. Maybe they meet the exception. So we want to let them know, there's still a possibility. So still come in and apply for it.
So that's CalWorks homeless assistance, and you
Yeah.
said that was an emergency or temporary.
That's the temporary
Okay.
homeless assistance.
All right.
The other component is the permanent homeless assistance, which helps with security deposits, first and last month's rent. It can even help with some back pay arrears that may be needed. So maybe somebody's behind rent on a couple months. And that could be a way that they can prevent homelessness, is being able to get caught back
Wow.
up. So
Okay.
those are just some of the services available there for them.
And those are for CalWorks clients?
Those are only
Those
for
are.
CalWorks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So once again, it goes back to why when we had that
Right.
first discussion, that's the
Yes.
first thing we asked, are you CalWorks aided? If not, does it appear like you may be
Yeah.
eligible for it? Can we at least get you in the door to try it? Because we know those services can be very beneficial.
So that's a good entry thing to find out. Are you CalWorks eligible? If you are, then it's going to open up all kinds of other opportunities.
Correct.
Right?
I'm your host, Allison, and I'm interrupting today's podcast to highlight our Human Services Technician position. If you'd like to learn more about being an HST, watch our promo video on our social media under Kern County DHS. If you'd like to apply, head to kerncounty.com under the Careers tab. Thank you for listening, and now back to the podcast.
If a person isn't CalWorks eligible, are there other housing programs that are available for them if they're struggling too?
Unfortunately, not so much are available right now through our department, but
Okay.
we're looking
You're
at some
working at
options
that.
in there. Yeah.
Good.
We're working with in tandem with the state and with our own internal policy to see, okay, there's some other things we can do here with some funding that may be available. So hopefully, maybe in the future we'll have something.
I'm hearing of housing being developed downtown and things like that.
But
so
the most
that's
important
good.
thing is with the housing support unit, we've established a relationship with the local homeless collaborative. And we're starting the process to become a fully integrated member of the coordinated entry system. So that's a lot of big words there, but basically what it means is when we have an individual come to us that they don't meet the eligibility criteria for our programs, we're going to be able to put them into the homeless system's system of care, basically here, right at one spot.
Wow.
So we're not going to
it's all integrated.
Yeah, it's all going to be integrated. So we're not going to tell somebody, well, we're so sorry, we can't help you. You're going to have to leave and go somewhere else. We can say, we don't have any resources available to you right here, right now, but we can put you into the system so that somebody who does have the resources will contact you.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. So by being part of the homeless collaborative, that connects you with all these other things. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's all going to be
Okay.
integrated all into one spot.
I love
now.
that. So like connecting with the navigation centers and all of those other options, right?
Yeah, it's all going to be connected now.
That is so good. And what is that called? Does that have is it just the homeless collaborative,
it's
I guess,
the
right?
coordinated entry system.
The coordinated entry
Yeah.
system. I'm so glad to hear these things. It's really encouraging. So if you are CalWorks, you may not know if you're CalWorks eligible. You can check that out on our website or call. So those are some of the things you're doing. There's also housing and disability advocacy program, right?
Yeah, it's another one we have.
Tell me a little bit about that one.
All right, so the big advantage of the housing and disability advocacy program is that the last part of that name, the disability advocacy part of it. So when we have families or individuals that may have a member of their household that has a disability, but they're not yet receiving disability benefits, this program ties them together with a disability advocate to help them in that process of starting that lengthy process of applying for disability benefits. But at the same time, they're also receiving the housing assistance if they're homeless or chronically homeless.
Okay.
So we're able to put both of them together in once again, it's kind of go over that one-stop shop, right?
Yeah.
We don't want you to have to worry about having to go here for one thing, here for something else, and wait. It's where we
That's
can do it
so
all together at
good.
once.
Because it can be just overwhelming for
It
people,
could be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like if you've ever been in our lobby, sometimes there's a lot of people and they need help. And so this is just really awesome to put it all together like this and not to say to somebody, I'm sorry, we can't help you, but somebody else can. That's what we're
yeah.
doing, right? That's so good.
Yeah, and I have to give my manager Juan a lot of credit, but he and I have the same vision. We hate that answer. I'm sorry, we can't help you.
Right, I do too.
We hate that. It's like, no, we don't want that to be the last thing we say to
No.
somebody. It's going to be, we may not have anything for you right now, but let's find you something.
I love that.
And that's our goal. That's what's
great.
driving us.
Good job on your part. And then you mentioned family stabilization. That is typically been through the child welfare system, or is that something that you guys do too?
No, so that's its own separate entity. With,
okay.
So the family stabilization program is currently under Welfare to Work. So in order to qualify for this program, you have to be a Welfare to Work participant.
Okay.
But they do work in tandem with child welfare. So for example, if you have a family that is CalWorks aided and they're an active participant in Welfare to Work, but they run into some challenges and maybe they have an open child welfare case and had their children removed. So under the family reunification program, they can still be working with a family stabilization program social worker to assist them during that point. So it's just more hands to be there to help them during that difficult time, so they're not alone. And then our family stabilization social workers are assisting the child welfare social workers, ensuring that the family is staying with their case plans. When it comes to housing, the family stabilization program does have some resources available for housing, but once again, it was very limited to. You have to be in that program. You have to meet those criteria. So, one big thing, and I probably should have started this one, but with the housing support unit, we're not taking over all the different programs here. We're still letting them stay with whichever program that they're under. So family stabilization is still going to stay under Welfare to Work, but where we come in is now we can assist them better.
Got it.
If they're having a family that they're working with that is homeless, at risk of being homeless, they don't have to feel like, okay, our only resource is the limited availability resources we have in family stabilization. They can now refer them to us, and now we can open the door and say, no, we can pair them with so much more now.
That's so great. It's like spreading a wider net around people to pull them in and help them.
Definitely,
more.
yeah.
I think that's so awesome. So we've talked about the homeless assistance program, the housing disability, family stabilization. And you mentioned bringing families home, and again, that's child welfare system, families who are connected with that system, and you're just collaborating with them to make sure they have what they need, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And then is there anything else you want to say about the CalWorks Housing Support Program? That's the overall program,
The overall
right?
program,
Yeah. You kind of did. Great job.
Well, I just want to say, once again, what our goal is, we want to make sure that we're leveraging the resources that all these different programs have. A lot of these programs, they may seem very similar, but they got little differences to them. And that's what we want to try to do. We want to try to say, with those little bit of differences, could that be the one thing that can help this family out? So how can we leverage it? How can we work it better? And that also goes with the same mindset of we're also keeping our internal colleagues, our staff in mind on this. What can we do to make these resources available to our staff with as little operational impact as possible? And I remember my days as a social worker, man, I hated all the forms. Like there's a form for everything and it just takes so much time. So, with our goal of wanting to centralize and streamline all these programs, that's one thing we did for our internal staff is there's no forms needed.
Wow.
If you have a family that's in need, just send us an email. That's all we need. We're going to take care of the rest.
That's so good.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find ways to make it, once again, streamline, as quick as possible, as easy as possible. Because for our families, our individuals in this situation who are needing these resources, time is of the essence.
Absolutely.
And we can't wait. We have to move quickly, get them the resources needed as fast as possible.
I love it. So you've not only helped the community, but you've helped our staff by making it easier internally to get the resources for the families they're helping by connecting. So I love that. So once again, if you are out there listening today and you know someone who's needing help with housing support, the Department of Human Services has a new unit called the Housing Support Unit, and you can call 631-6688. You can also go to our website, kcdhs.org, to get more information. And so, Jeff, is there anything else you want to leave our listeners with about this program today? I love it. I think it's amazing, and I'm so proud of our department for doing it.
Oh, for sure. And we just started. Our official go live date was January 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
So we're just starting on here, but I've got a wonderful team.
Sounds like you do.
They're doing a fantastic job. We have Maria Heredia, who's over our child welfare program. So she's the one who's over the Bringing Families Home and some of the other programs we have with them. We have Gabrielle Gonzalez with our disability programs. And then we have Alicia Lawson with our CalWorks programs. So we've got individual folks who are focused on these programs so that they can make sure that they're giving the best resources that they can, and they're always working with each other. So it's a wonderful team. I have to give them some credit.
Kudos to your team. And you have great leadership. You mentioned Juan.
Yes,
he's a great leader too.
Yeah, none of this would have been possible without his vision.
That's awesome. And I'm sure many of your staff are bilingual. We have that access to. So,
yep.
Again, anyone out there listening, if you need housing support information, you can contact the Department of Human Services at 661-631-6688. So thank you so much for being our guest today, Jeff.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
We really appreciate it.
I'm your co-host Paola, and in today's Mindful Minute, we'll be talking about music. Music can be a powerful way to experience the present moment and reconnect with positive energy. So the very first step you'll want to take to get yourself in a good headspace is choosing a piece of music to listen to. I usually will go for instrumentals or my favorite song at the time. Second, take a moment to breathe. And 3, just listen. Notice how the music can change your mood? Try implementing this mindful music practice into your daily routine when you're feeling a little stressed. You can even try experimenting with that music that makes you feel best. If you don't know where to start, try listening to something super happy, like maybe Happy by Pharrell Williams. That song could put anyone in a good mood. Thank you for tuning in. This has been your Mindful Minute.
Thank you for joining us for the Heartbeat of Human Services podcast today. We hope you'll join us next time.